In this episode, I'm going to give you an exercise that might be just perfect at this time of year. Welcome back to, yet again, another episode of the Upgrade My Rituals podcast. My name is Kevin McKella, the host of the show, and of course, this is the place for productivity enthusiasts, professionals, solopreneurs, if I can speak, business owners, anybody who's really looking to design their perfect ideal day instead of trying to build 27 new habits and get just completely overwhelmed and stressed about this personal development world. We craft a really beautiful day where ultimately, if we even come close to hitting it, we feel great about what we accomplished that day and where our holistic life is going, where everything is headed, including our body, our mind, our family, our finances, everything that you ultimately want to work on because you are an overachiever, and that can stress you out from time to time. So welcome back. Before we jump in today and give you this fairly short exercise, I do want to let you know that today is the day at 12 o'clock Eastern time, 12 a.m., is the closing of the first cohort of Day by Design. So last week I mentioned about the workshop that we did on Monday, and if you haven't gone to that, there will be others, but ultimately we talked about ritual design. We walked you through how to make your own, and of course we opened the doors to Day by Design. So if you're on the fence, if you have came to the workshop and if you're on the fence, tonight's the last night to enroll in the first cohort. And of course, I'm not exactly sure of when the next cohort will open up. I mean, eventually it will, but I like to work fairly closely with my students. So with that being said, hope to see you there. On to the exercise. What we're going to talk about is a life vision. If you are somebody who uses the Ritual Design Planner, you'll notice that there is quarterly goals that we set, but there actually is no spot for annual goals. First of all, as I mentioned before in the show, for me, my philosophy is that my goals within a year changes often. There has never been a single year where I've had even just one single goal last throughout the year. There's always morphed and changed. So I like to really break it down into quarters. Even still, if you think about a goal that you want to accomplish in 365 days, 12 months, that's a long time. And that sometimes sets us up for when people say, set a New Year's resolution, right? It was a couple of weeks ago. It's like, we get so overwhelmed by what do we want? I have a whole year to accomplish a goal. We don't even barely set them. Because the fact that not only is it overwhelming to accomplish a goal in an entire year, but it's very difficult to do if we have something, or if we, for that matter, have nothing pulling towards the goal, meaning have nothing no hierarchy above, okay, I want to hit a goal. Well, what does that actually mean, right? Like, why do I want to hit that goal? How does that affect my life as a person and who I am? So what I like to do is, and there are many different versions of a life vision, but I like to go through a life vision exercise and I redo my vision every single quarter. It's very simple once you've done it once, but your first time doing it may take like an afternoon. It may take a trip to the coffee shop and just sit there for 3 hours and kind of think about, what do you want to have happen with your life? Like, what are we even doing? Right? I'm gonna walk you through it. I actually have my planner right here. And like I said, most of the time, every quarter after I've done it once or twice, my first couple of times, I basically rewrite it and I tweak it because obviously every quarter and especially every year, I'm going to be kind of heading in a little bit of a different direction with my life, and especially, this past year with my daughter being born is different things. So for instance, the first thing I start with is my vision. I'll read you a few sentences here. The vision I have for my life is to live vibrant and passionate. I can't even read that. My handwriting's so terrible. I am full of love and excitement, which is obvious to others. I have amazing amounts of energy that is carefully manufactured. So it goes on and on. That's my vision of who I want, right? I never let things outside my circle of influence control me or hold me back. Now, you may be saying, that's BS. Like, of course, every once in a while, you're going to have days where, somebody says something and it pisses you off and it ruins your day. That's obvious and that's okay. the point of a vision is to have something to strive for, right? Have this almost like your manifesto. That's kind of the vision I create. And I think about who I am, what other people see me as, or what do I want to be seen as, how I operate. I live in state every day. Knowing what deeply makes me tick and reviewing these higher needs help me make better decisions and build my legacy. So very, very hierarchical type things that kind of set the tone for the rest of this exercise. And the vision for you, the way you kind of start with this is like, how do you want to feel? Like some of these questions you can obviously run with this, but how do you want to feel? Who do you want to be known as? How do you want other people to see you? And there's different variations of that, but that's ultimately the first exercise, is to create this very vague, if you will, gray vision, right? Gray is a really vibrant vision. There we go. The next part of this exercise is your purpose. And the purpose is what it is that you are here to do. Why are you put on this earth? So I'll get into my purposes, and whatever role I play, whether it be father, husband, speaker, family member, or friend, I can use my gifts, education, and experience to help people however I can. I can equals I must. That's my purpose. Fairly short and sweet. It goes on. My purpose in life is to move people physically, intellectually, and emotionally in order to help them make lasting positive change. Hopefully what I'm doing right here. So that's now my purpose. And again, it's the questions that you have to ask yourself to define your purpose is, what are you here to do? What do you want to do? What change do you want to make in the world? Who do you want to help, and different things like that. Now, on to the third section, and this could be a little bit tricky because it's similar, but it is actually different, is the mission, is almost like your mission statement. And this is different from the purpose is because this is how you're going to achieve your purpose. How are you going to execute on that? So, for instance, my mission is to help people see their true potential, arm them with strategies to move forward, and help them take action. Now, if you notice, my mission didn't say teach an online program about productivity and personal development. I don't want to be that specific in my opinion because that could change. Also, helping people see their true potential and arming them with strategies to move forward. If I'm talking to a cousin of mine, if I'm talking to a friend and we're just hanging out and having a couple of beers, and I find that that person is in need of help and they ask for my help, I don't want to insert myself into their issues, but I can use my education and my background and experience in that moment to help that person. They don't have to enroll in my course. So that is why I keep that kind of vague. On to the fourth part. The identity. I'll just kind of read through my identity. One major factor is my level of progress towards my goals and success. Another part is my need to be an anomaly, both for myself and the onlooker. As for making progress, this is what gives me the juice, and the anomaly is what solidifies the juice. So this is now getting very specific into who I am, and I'm letting you into my world very, very personally, if you will. So one major factor is my level of progress. For me, my identity is held in my level of progress. Now, meaning, if I'm moving closer and closer to my goals, if it's dropping 3% in body fat, if it's gaining another 20 students in my program or whatever, right? If I'm making progress towards that, that is a huge part of my identity because I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm doing something and taking actions that align with who I really am, and I know I'm making progress. The reason why that is so oddly specific in this is because it used to be the exact opposite. My identity used to be a high school band director. Like that was for years and years and years, my only identity was I was going to be a high school band director. And until I got there, I was not going to be living my true self. And I wasn't going to be in touch with who that set myself up for complete failure. Because first of all, there was many moments in my life where I was completely living in a fantastic identity, teaching music to children, making a decent salary, having a good work-life balance or whatever. And I couldn't see that because I made this crazy identity for myself, and it was really dumb. But you live and you learn. So my identity now is my level of progress. Now, secondly, if you notice, I mentioned to be an anomaly. I don't know why. Part of my MO, if you will, is my level of significance. I can't, for me, this is why I'm here doing this, right? I can't sit down, punch the clock at some job, play video games, and just hang out with my family and repeat, rinse and repeat. I can't do that. I have to do something that makes me so different, one of a kind, special, if you will, because my mommy told me I was special. It's maybe that, I don't know, but that's just who I am. And at least that's coming from a good place. I'm not being special by being, robbing banks, right? But I'll tell you again, coming back to my music career, I chose, after teaching was not working out at all, most of the reason why I went to study at the Liège Conservatory in Belgium was because that was my outlet of saying, I can be special, I can be significant, I can be an anomaly. If I come back to the States and say, I am a conservatory-trained classical musician, right? That's why I considered pursuing my doctorate degree. I got accepted to my doctorate degree. I didn't go on with it because I was like, okay, this is financially not working out. But another story, another day. But that was, again, before I came to the realization of different ways I can be an anomaly or significant. Either way, that is my identity. It's going to be very personal to you. You have to ask yourself who you are deep down and what makes you tick. What is it that gives you the juice that you get so excited to do? And it's not necessarily the thing that you're doing, it's the outcome that thing produces. If you are a video game developer, I don't think the identity is necessarily I'm a video game developer. It can be, but it's dangerous when you lock yourself into a path, right? And if you're not living that path at that moment, then there's a lot of incongruency in your life, and that causes a lot of stress and overwhelm. But you're a video game developer, so what that does for you is that may allow you to be your most creative self through a technological outlet that you love, right? Something like that. But that's your identity, and that's kind of what you want to be spending your time doing. So that may take different forms and different shapes. Maybe you're doing some online marketing for somebody, and while you're trying to get a real position as a game developer, whatever. And the fifth and final step is the code of conduct. The code of conduct is very short and sweet. For me, I just list different words that I want to live by, right? Different I'll read them out. So faithful, clear-minded, patient, strong, punctual, organized, calm, gracious, blessed, content, loved, passionate, happy, humble, optimistic, selfless, and focused. So I don't live those every day, not even close. That's what I aspire to. That's my vision, right? That's the code of conduct. Having that is different than many vision exercises out there, and I really love it because if something's going wrong in your life and writing this down and reading this. And what I would suggest is read through your vision every week. So part of your keystone routine, I would read through this each week. But I think the code of conduct is such a cemented, a cemented structure in this vision where if really just all goes to hell, you know that your code of conduct is patient, right? Like dealing with my daughter, and she's 10 months old. She's going through a sleep regression as we speak right now. She's waking up a whole bunch of times she never did. Patience. It's literally my it's part of my code of conduct. So that is how I operate and how I run my life vision. There is many different things that you can do. I do go on from that in this section and break down my domains and talk about my physical body, my emotional state, my mental state, but that's not part of your life vision. So what you could do, like I said, is if you are having trouble setting goals for this new year, I know we're already a little bit late, but you can start with your life vision, because then if you realize that you are a passionate and vibrant person, and I have amazing amounts of energy that is manufactured through self-care, like, okay, there's something around there about your physical body. So then you can think about, okay, well, I do, if I'm that's my vision, I do have to set a goal for maybe either weight loss or muscle gain or whatever, vitality. And that will dictate, obviously, your months and your weeks and your days living by the goal. So life visions definitely help. I would definitely encourage you to write through one, answer those questions that I prompted you with a little bit, but you can really look up online. There's a million different ways you can operate and pick and choose. This is my vision. I've picked and choose from years of doing this, of the things I like, things I don't like. I make it fairly simple, and you don't have to go too crazy, but it really helps when you are trying to make some goals. So that is it for today's episode. Once again, I just want to remind you, if you haven't enrolled in Day by Design, I would love to see you in that program. I'd love to work with you one-on-one. Tonight is the first cohort that closes at 12 a.m. Eastern, so definitely sign up and definitely don't miss out. So hopefully I'll see you inside Day by Design. And if not, I hopefully see you on the next episode next week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. If you are listening on the podcast, please leave a review. That would help tremendously. And thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you next week on the Upgrade My Rituals podcast.